Hey everybody, welcome to episode number 123 of Cameron's Nostalgia Podcast. I'm your host, Cameron Strickland, and today I have with me Matt Babb. How are you?
I'm well, thank you for having me.
Now, for any of the guys who don't know, Matt is a studio director for TV shows, movies, and short films.
That's a studio teacher, Cameron. I'm a teacher.
Okay,
And
let's
what
begin.
did you want to go ahead? Sorry.
I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, no, no. You go ahead.
Okay, let's start with our first question.
hmm
How did you get interested in filmmaking?
I got interested in filmmaking because I've always had a lifelong love of movies. And my friends and I, when we were kids, just ran around with a video camera filming each other. And then I started getting interested in story and started studying film and just really kept going since there.
Nice. What was your first filmmaking gig?
I made a short film with my friends called Jane Austen, the Bionic Woman. My first professional gig was on a USC short film called Far From Home.
Nice. What was it like working on What Was About?
What I was about was really fun to work on because we were in the middle of a national park and we had to film in front of the sequoias, including the famous General Sherman, which is well over 1,000 years old. And we're inside the park with music and puppets and did classroom and RVs. And it was a lot of fun. It was like being able to live in the woods for a day.
Now, do you have behind the scenes footage or photos of What Was About?
I don't have too many photos or behind the scenes footage of Wow's About. No. I was there to take care of the kids and make sure that they learned their academic subjects. So any pictures that would have been taken would have been from the behind the scenes camera person or anyone who was doing continuity.
Okay. So, you worked on a Nickelodeon show called The Thundermans.
I did.
So, what's it like working on The Thundermans?
Thundermans was fun to work on. My main student was Jack Griffo, who played Max Thunderman, and he was a bright student, but I was helping him manage his career with his scholastic academic pursuits, and it was a more of a studio gig than was about, where you showed up to a studio every day and you did more or less the same thing every day with just different lines.
Nice. So, you worked on a Nick Jr. show called Mud and Stuff.
That's right, I did. That was by Sid and Marty Krofft.
And, what was it like working on that show?
That was my favorite show to work on. All apologies to Wows About and Thundermans. That show was just so fun because there were trained dogs on set every day. And my student at that time was Calvin Milan. And he was a very interesting, very intelligent student. And even though the show was geared at very young kids, there was a lot of things that I could enjoy. But probably the best thing was just having so many dogs on set, and always did so many amazing tricks and stunts, and just being in that atmosphere with the family kind of element that they were able to do on set was really amazing.
Nice. And you worked on another Nickelodeon show called Henry Danger.
I did. I didn't work on Henry Danger that much, but the days I worked on there were very memorable with lots of kids, and there were big scenes.
What about Sigmund and the Sea Monsters?
Hidden of the Sea Monster was about a season, and that one was fun because we got to film at the beach a lot, and the creativity that went into making the clubhouse and the sea monster costumes were really amazing. So I did enjoy that aspect of the show.
Nice. For the upcoming, you worked on The Other Kind.
I did. Have you seen it?
It's on IMDb.
It is. That was a film that was filmed up in Lake Tahoe about an alien that came to Earth to revisit a woman who remembered them as a little girl.
And what about Marge?
Marge was a horror short, also about a little girl who grows up, but her mom is a serial killer.
And you worked on a podcast show called Deadliest Meal.
That's correct. That's something I did with my partner, Rory Delaney. And Deadliest Meal is the fictionalized account of the actor Vincent Price in a travel cooking show where he cooks with various guests in various countries, but there is something going on with his producing partner, and it reveals a sinister secret at the end.
You worked on The Change.
The change?
Hmm.
Hmm. I don't really remember that. I've worked on a lot of sets, and that's not one that was very memorable to me.
What about Chosen?
Choser?
Chosen.
Ah, Chosen. Yes, that was a short film from USC. I did enjoy working on that one, but it was just one day in the studio.
Avian Avengers.
I'm sorry?
Avian Avengers.
Ah, Avian Avengers. Yes, that one was very interesting. That was mostly done in front of a green screen because there was a superhero parody one where kids dressed as birds and fought crime. So I did enjoy working on that one.
What about Bella and the Bulldogs?
Belle and the Bulldogs was another Nickelodeon film about a girl who becomes the quarterback of a football team and hijinks ensue.
What about Designer Pups?
Designer Pups was one about a group of kids who try to earn money uh, cutting dogs' hair, but like end up becoming the hottest ticket in town and being overwhelmed.
What about Operation Neighborhood Watch?
Operation Neighborhood Watch was a low budget movie about kids who are trying to find out if the guy that one of their moms is dating is a criminal.
What about Ominous?
Minuous?
Hmm.
Minuous, I'm afraid I don't remember that one.
Oh, okay. What about A Boy Called Poe?
A Boy Called Poe was very interesting. I liked working on that one. It was about an autistic child, and it was actually played by an autistic actor. So that was challenging for me because I had to follow his special educational guidelines very closely. And um, also did the same thing of making sure that people were following California law and doing what was best for the child on set. So that was a particularly fun challenge to me because I really connected with the kid who started that.
What about Jessica Darling's It List?
Jessica Darling's It List, I believe, was a web series. And I remember that we were on something like a red carpet where people were being interviewed. I don't think there were any real celebrities, but I think that was the joke.
Okay. Sharknado 4, The Fourth Awakens.
Yeah, Sharknado 4 was a rough one. That was difficult to work on. I think everybody would agree on that. It was I don't know if you saw it, but they had one kid and they cast twins in order to extend his time. And that kind of told you everything about what they did. They tried to get a bunch of um, people to work longer hours than they really should have. They were trying to go union, but they were really upset about it. Uh, and David Hasselhoff was covered with blood for most of the scenes I was working in, and he was pretty grumpy.
What about Eternal Salvation?
Eternal Salvation, I don't remember that one very well, I'm afraid.
What about A Happening of Momentum? No.
Mementos of Portions. Yes, I do remember that one. That was a fun one to work on. That starred the rapper Common, and it was directed by Judy Greer, who is an actor that I really admire. And she was also, I thought, a very good director. I'm was disappointed how that was released. It was released very poorly and not advertised at all, because I thought it was a very good movie and it should have gotten a lot more notice than it did.
What about Club Mickey Mouse?
Club Mickey Mouse was a very special one for me. I worked with kids that I still keep in touch with today, and that was a web reimagining of the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse from the 50s with Annette Funicello in it. The bunch of really talented kids who worked really hard, and a lot of them are still working today, and I still keep in touch with them.
And what about Bird Box?
Bird Box was a really big shoot, but I only worked on some reshoots in the Santa Cruz Mountains. But it was still a challenging one because of just trying to keep the kids warm and safe in that middle of the woods environment. Uh, but also working with Sandra Bullock is also something everybody should do at least once.
What about Don't Tell a Soul?
Don't Tell a Soul was something we filmed in Kentucky with Jack Dylan Grazer, who's a very talented kid, who is now a very talented actor, who's an adult. I think he's 25 now. And we were in the middle of the Kentucky countryside and uh, pushed Dwight from the office down a hole, and like a whole bunch of stuff came out. But yeah, Don't Tell a Soul was a really fun one to work on.
And what about Paper Tiger?
Paper Tiger was a fun one to work on. It was something they made a really great set inside of a sound stage to replicate a Vietnam War era house that the kids grew up in. And they just uh, really enjoyed it. And when I saw the finished product, I thought the special effects were not so good, but I thought the story was really quite good.
What about We Are Who We Are?
We Are Who We Are was that was 4 months that I spent in Italy, going between Chioggia and Padua, working with Jack again, and just trying to make sense of the whole thrust of the movie and being in a different place and just really feeling that otherness was very integral to my being my career as a studio teacher and kind of changed the course of my life.
What about Far More?
Far more, I don't think I remember.
What about the movie Old?
Old was a movie directed by M. Night Shyamalan, and this was during the height of the pandemic, and they flew us all out to the Dominican Republic, where we could only be in our hotel and on the beach. So filming, even though the set was spectacular, the location was beautiful, was really difficult because we had to do daily testing, we had to follow a lot of protocols, but I made connections with some of the kids there that I still have today.
What about Bite Size Halloween?
Bite Size Halloween was a fun little short I worked on where it turns out somebody's nanny is a witch.
What about Taurus?
Tars was a movie with the musician Machine Gun Kelly and his kind of being overloaded with fame.
You worked on a music video called Love from the Other Side by Fall Out Boy.
I did.
And what about The Black Demon?
Black Demon was another one in the Dominican Republic, and that was a giant underwater creature movie that was really fun to work on. And then filmed in this amazing huge tank right on the beach in Wandolio was the name of the town. And just really enjoyed working with those kids and that set.
What about Bookie?
Bookie was a really fun show that I worked on with Maxime Swinton, whom I worked with his sister on Old, and he's a really bright kid and fun to work with. The show itself starred the comedian Sebastian Malchenko, and uh, his particular brand of humor as a someone who's a bookie right when sports betting is becoming legal.
What about Griselda?
Griselda was, I only worked on that a couple of days, and that was a show where Sofia Vergara played a infamous drug queenpin and still tried to balance her family. I really like the costumes in that one.
Nice. And what about Over Spattle?
I'm sorry, what?
Over Spattle.
Hmm. I don't think I remember that one.
That's okay. What about The Gutter?
The Gutter was a bowling movie that starred up and coming comedian, and that was fun working in a bowling alley that was closed down for the shoot. But besides that, I don't really remember a lot.
What about Jules?
Jules. Ah, yes, Jules. That was about a it was a dirt bike movie where a black woman is going for a prize in dirt biking and is married to a man who got into a dirt bike accident and is paralyzed and is being courted by like his old rival.
Nice. And what about One of Them Days?
One of them days was I was only on that a couple of days. But it was about two friends who just have a day where nothing goes right in Southeast Compton.
What about Hurry Up Tomorrow?
Hurry Up Tomorrow was an interesting one to work on. It was about um, the performer, The Weekend, and his difficulty in overcoming a relationship that may be based on his fans that maybe didn't exist. Um, I don't remember a lot from that, except they filmed in the Tiki Bar, Tiki Tea, which was really fun to work in, and I volunteered as an extra on that one.
What about Tales from the Crypto?
Tales from the Crypto. Um, that one we just filmed in an apartment. It was one day. Um, it was fun, but I don't remember too much about it.
So, Wow's About was filmed in October 29
Correct. So October 29th of last year was when it was filmed.
in 2025.
Yep, that was last year.
And do you have any puppets?
I'm afraid I don't have any puppets.
Okay. Well, Matt, thank you so much for your time
Thank you for having me. When will this be on YouTube?
today.
Today. Great. I'll look at it today. Thanks so much, Cameron.
Is there anything else you'd like to say?
Uh, No, just I really appreciate this time to be able to talk to you and share my knowledge with someone who's clearly interested in the process. And and my cat wanted to say hi too. Say hi, Benny. All right. Yeah, that was it. Thank you, Cameron.
Stay tuned, so there'll be more guests coming up. Until next time, peace.
Peace.